This is the Labrum James workout. It is a gentle and supportive workout for the spine, the hips, everything else. It's a great workout for activating all the stabilizers in the body and is very light and easy on the bones and joints. It's going to be set up Tabata style, so it's 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off for a total of 8 sets per exercise. We're going to go through the exercises one at a time. Here we go. We got the one arm chest press to begin. So for the one arm chest press, you're going to be laying face up on the ground, just like this. You're going to have the dumbbell in one hand, free hand on your stomach. The forearm is pointing up with the back of the arm resting on the ground. You're going to press the weight up, right over top of your chest, lower it back down to the side and repeat, bringing the back of the upper arm down to the floor. The motion should look like a punch. Now, the rest of your body you want to keep perfectly still. The progression is to add a twist. The twist is you start with a sideways grip at the bottom and you twist the grip on the way up, untwist at the bottom, twist on the way up. Just like this. That is the twist right there. Now, if as a further progression, you can bend both knees, have your feet pointing up and your hips up, and you're doing a one-arm chest press from a glute bridge as a progression. Now the next exercise is going to be the sideline abductor leg raises. For this, you're going to be laying on your side. Your bottom arm is like a pillow. Your top arm can be like a kickstand. The top leg, we want to have it pointing down, just like this, okay? Now, you're going to lift the leg up about halfway, lower back down and repeat, moving only from the ball and socket of the hip joint, so you're not side flexing the spine or rolling the pelvis around. You're only moving from the ball and socket of the hip joint. A progression here is to press your arms together like this. So I'm pressing the top palm into the bottom fist. That's tightening up my core. A further progression, if you have access to it, is to take something like this. This is an ankle weight, and you can just buy it in any of the big box stores, okay? And usually they weigh between 1 and 5 pounds, and you would just wrap it around the working leg ankle, and you would just do the exercise like so. So that's how the ankle weights would work. All right, now, the next exercise is the one-sided T retraction. For this exercise, you're going to be laying down with your head pointing off to the side. Your bottom arm is like a pillow. This hand, the thumb, is pointing up. Now you're going to move from between the middle of the shoulder blades to raise this arm all the way up, following it with your head and eyes, lower down and repeat. Once again, following with your head and eyes, lowering down and repeating. The movement is primarily coming from the middle of the shoulder blades. I'm just going to give you a different look from head on. It'll look like this. So you're lifting it up as high as you can, following with the head and eyes. And if you wanted to, you could add a little bit of weight there as a progression, but often body weight is enough on that one to get an excellent workout. Number 4 is the alternate leg lowering with bent legs. Okay, so for this one here, you're going to be laying on your back with your palms up. Knees are bent 90 degrees. Feet are floating in the air. Okay, and what you do is you're going to lower one leg down till straight, and it's just floating above the ground. And then you're going to repeat and alternate sides, just like that, okay? So you're just alternate leg lowering with bent legs. And the progression here is to do a dead bug by which you have your arms straight up. And what you'll do is you'll lower the opposite arm and leg down at the same time. Okay, it does take a little bit of coordination. People do have a challenge with it. And a further progression would just be to go with the leg straight, because then it's a longer lever arm. Okay, so just start at the appropriate level for you, where you're at, and gently work your way up through the progressions. Over time, and be gentle with yourself if you screw up on the coordination. Most people do. Oftentimes it comes down to using one brain hemisphere more than the other. People are often very left-brained, so they have a difficult time coordinating these kind of movements. In that way, an exercise like this serves as a bit of a brain corrective because it requires both brain hemispheres to cooperate to coordinate such a movement. Okay, now the next exercise is the lying Supermans. So for this one, you're going to be laying face up on the ground, ankles flexed and toes tucked under, thumbs up, and what you're going to do is you're going to raise the opposite arm and leg and hold for a second at the top, lower down, and repeat. So it will look like this. Now, if you're feeling that in the low back, and you have a sensitive low back, then you can squeeze your glutes prior to lifting up the leg, and that will take some pressure off the low back. Another thing you can do, because sometimes when people do that movement, they create too much of a lordosis in their spine. So you can fold up a towel and place it underneath your belly button, and that will flatten out your spine a little bit. Or you can use a Bosu ball, and I'll just demonstrate how that might look. I would take a Bosu ball like this, I would place my belly button over the apex, and I would proceed to do the movement from the Bosu ball. Lifting up to about horizontal, lowering down and repeating. Just like that, and that's a more spine-friendly way to do the exercise because we're not lifting the limbs up as high, so we're not putting too much pressure into the low back. Now the next exercise is the side bridge, not to be confused with a side plank. When people are side planking, they're bending their spine laterally up and down. In this exercise, you're actually keeping your spine straight the whole time, and it's almost like a side lying hip hinge. So I'm going to demonstrate how this looks. You're going to have your bottom forearm is on the ground. Now you're going to take your top hand, fingers spread, and just cup and squeeze the bottom shoulder. Now from this position, with your knees bent in front a little bit, you're going to lift your hips up and forward. So it kind of looks like I'm squatting, like I'm coming up from a seated position. So I go up and forward, hold, then down and back. Up and forward, hold, then down and back. So I'm keeping my spine straight the whole time. The mistake here would be to just be kind of like bending up and down from the side and putting some of that side flexion into the spine. We're just going to be careful we don't do that. We're just keeping the spine straight the whole time, hips up and forward, then back. That is how you do the side bridge exercise. Alternating sides each time, and you're going to hold for 1 second at the top. Now the final exercise here is going to be the tall kneeling alternating arm curls. So I'm going to be in a tall kneeling position, which looks like this. You can see my ankles are flexed, toes are tucked under, instead of feet flat, okay? That's going to help me work my hip extensors more. So I'm going to have my hips up all the way, and I'm holding the dumbbells down by my side. All right, now from this position, I'm going to curl one weight up to the front of the shoulder, down, and repeat alternating sides. I'm using a sideways grip or semi-supinated grip, so the thumbs are up, palms sideways when I'm doing this. And as you're doing this, the little muscles in your spine, along the sides of the spine, are activating to keep your body centered. So it is a great exercise to develop supportive fitness through the spine. You're also working your hip extensors to just stay in this tall kneeling position. And we're working the aesthetic muscles, the biceps, in this movement. So that would be the final exercise on Labrum James, okay? Once again, this is a Tabata workout. It's really simple and easy to do this anywhere. All you need is some floor space because all of these exercises were done. Not sure if you noticed, they were all done on the floor the whole time. I wasn't standing for any of them, so it's very easy. If you have a sensitive back, there's no compression to it. It's all very gentle, so it's a great way to get back into the swing of things with fitness, and it's a great way to just blitz the stabilizers for a bit. So once again, that's the Labrum James Tabata workout. I'm rooting for you in the game of life.